for everyone that missed it. Earlier today, we had a special live at 2:30 p.m. Central Time today, which was a live interview with United States Senate candidate Jared Hudson, and I think it was awesome. I definitely enjoyed it. I think everyone that was watching did as well. If you did not catch that live, you can always go back and watch it on Facebook and YouTube. And I'm also I will have that one posted on Spotify and Apple Podcast, anywhere you get your podcast. I'll have it posted on there by the end of tonight. So go back and check that out, especially if you are an Alabama voter, because you need to go vote tomorrow. If you had to have voted in the primary last month, but make sure you get out and go vote tomorrow. Hey, thank you, Kendra. Hey, Becky. What's up, Justin? Yeah, I agree with you. I think he did as well. You can tell he's just being real himself and just answering the questions as he would. And it's hard to come by in politicians these days, but that's my point. He's not a politician, and that's exactly who we need. What's up, Isha? So you tell everybody else hey before you tell me, I see. But we did have a really good crowd today during the live. But again, if you missed it, no worries. Go back. You can go back and catch it on. It'll be up on Facebook for the next 30 days, and it'll be on our YouTube channel for, I think, forever. I don't think they go away on there. But then I'll also have it posted very soon on Spotify and Apple Podcast, anywhere you get your podcast. Kendra said, I've just recently found you from another TikTok creator. Well, awesome. Kendra, I'm glad you are here. Hope you enjoy it and continue to come back. Becky said he was honest and open completely. Yes, absolutely. Hi from Tallapoosa County. What's up, Shane? This crap about a scripted speech kills me. Jared has never needed a speech. He's the real deal, and that's just how he is. Yeah, no, and that's why I wanted to make sure to call that out today, because I knew what we were doing wasn't scripted, and he was very natural with it. And I've seen it was a post from a previous candidate or something. I think someone that was in the race, but they didn't get anywhere, and so they're no longer in it. They definitely didn't make it to the runoff, obviously, but anyway, and they said they had been on the campaign trail during this whole campaign, and that they didn't like Jared Hudson because he would only speak with using his scripted speeches and wouldn't answer questions that were just random questions or anything like that. They were scared to answer them, and I've not seen that ever from him. It's literally the opposite. And so I'm telling y'all, and we're not going to spend the whole live talking about the election, But the establishment is literally trying to buy this election, and that should scare everyone. Why are they spending millions from DC? From DC. Why are millions being spent on this Alabama election to try to defeat Jared Hudson? Why? The exact same reason Trump is backing Barry Moore, because they know they can completely control Barry Moore because they've been controlling him the whole time. Barry Moore does not think, and I'm telling you, I've known this stuff. I've spoken with people that are there, that are in that scene in DC, and the reason Trump likes Barry Moore so much is he's a follower. He does not think on his own. He does exactly as he is told, and that's what they want. And it's concerning to me that more people don't see that. Like, how can you not see all these millions? It's been like $13 million in the last week from out-of-state money, from cryptocurrency and data center, these data tech packs coming out with all these ridiculously false campaign ads and stuff against Jared Hudson, just literally making up things. Why? Why are they fighting so hard against Jared Hudson? Well, if you know anything about politics, it's clear as day. Again, because they want someone they can fully control. Look, I voted for Trump both times. I'd probably vote for him again. But I know who he is. He's not going to back somebody that he can't completely control. That's the only reason he's going to back you. If he doesn't think he can completely control you, he's not going to back you. He wants you to do as he says. That's not what we need. We need someone there that's going to speak for the citizens of this state. Has anyone ever said your chair makes you look like you have long hair? No, Kelly, it's a really big thing. They call it the chair mullet. But yes, I'm eventually going to have to change chairs because literally today during the interview, Jared Hudson said that he's like, I've watched your show quite a few times. I've watched a bunch of your videos, and I always thought you had this long, crazy hair, and now I see it's just your chair. But yeah, no. But no, it's the same reason that here's something that should trouble everyone. The exact same money, the exact same packs, all this tons of money that's coming in here for Barry Moore's campaign is the exact same that went against Thomas Massie. Exact. Because all of a sudden Trump hated Massie. Why did he hate Massie? Because he couldn't control him. That's a fact. Everybody knows that. And unfortunately, it worked against Massie, and they got him out. But it's because he spoke up for himself. It's hard for me not to say what I really, really think about somebody that can't see that. I don't understand it because it's clear as day. And those same people are the same ones that say they won't change. They're tired of career politicians. No, they're I'll shut up about it. It's just there's a level of ignorance that I will never understand. It blows my mind. I am not the smartest person in the world, far from it. So it really worries me when people are dumber than me. It really, if there's something I can see that plain, and there's a whole group of people that can, it really worries me. What's up, Nancy? But Barrymore's running on one thing: Trump's name. That's it. That's what he's got. And they're so pissed right now is because they thought that they were just going to be able to breeze through this, because they were supposed to have been able to just breeze through this. Well, luckily enough, people picked up on it and said, no, we're done with this. We're tired of this. Let's say you are just voting for him just because Trump backed him. Again, you have to know the reason Trump backed him is because he can fully control him. Okay, say that's good with you. Say you don't care. That's fine with you. Well, guess what? Trump's not going to be in office much longer. So what happens when Trump finishes his term and a new president gets in? Guess what? Barrymore's going to be completely controlled by them. What about the governor race? I mean, we're not going to have a governor race in Alabama. That's over. That'll be Tuberville. Barrymore says he's not a career politician. What's his career then? He's a politician. He's I mean, like you said, he's been in that world for over 15 years now. What's up, Emily? No, he never got his military career life straight because he refused again. And that's my biggest thing about Barrymore is he refuses to just be honest about that. What's up, Monica? But instead of him just coming clean, they doubled, tripled, quadrupled down, and they refused to say the truth. And again, you talk about an attack on free speech. They have literally filed an FEC complaint. I've seen it with my own eyes against tons of podcasters, content creators, media outlets, and just some regular people that made posts. Every post that they could find that was negative towards Barrymore and positive for Jared Hudson, they're trying to get the FEC to take them down. Think about how crazy that is. That's nuts. And Kevin McDaniel said if y'all vote for him for Hell County Sheriff, he's going to give everyone a free tugboat. But I mean, it's crazy. First, when journalists just reached out to their campaign and said, hey, can you clear up this military thing that people were saying? They immediately responded back with his DC attorneys saying, you better just drop this or we're going to sue you. It's very frustrating to me that, again, but all we have to do is get people to the polls tomorrow in Alabama. If you are an Alabama voter and you voted in the Republican primary, you have to go to the polls tomorrow and vote for Jared Hudson. And if you do, then we will send the right person there. But if you sit at home and think, well, my vote doesn't really matter, somebody else will do it, we're going to get someone in there that is not going to be any different or better at all than anything we've seen. I don't understand why people are not tired of the same old thing. I mean, that's one reason I liked Trump so much. It's one reason I voted for him, because he's completely different. I only agree with Trump on about 60% of his stuff. But the reason I like him so much is because I'm tired of career politicians. I'm tired of it. I'm not happy at all with Trump right now. He got us into this completely unnecessary war with Iran that no one can tell us why we're in. Because at first he said they lied to us, and that pisses me off. But they lied to us. The war obviously was not about nuclear weapons. I mean, if it was, again, after the second day of bombing, they said, we've taken out all their nuclear capabilities. We've taken out all of them. Okay, if that's why we were doing it, then that was it. It would have been over and done with. That didn't happen. We've been told for the 17th time that there's a deal been reached now. Hopefully it's true this time, but I won't believe it until I actually see it. But it's gone on for way too long. It's cost us tons of money. It's cost us service members' lives, and ruined a lot of our very close friends, the relationships with them. There's a lot of countries that we've been very close with for a long time that are very pissed at us right now. It makes zero. I mean, I legit, I have no clue why, like the true reason. I don't, and I don't think anybody does but Trump. And again, anybody that spoke out about it, that just said the common sense thing, like I just said, hey, why are we doing it? If that was the reason we're doing this, why are we still in it? That's what Thomas Massey did, and the establishment got him out. And they put millions and millions of dollars into a state election to make sure that he got out, because they will not have anybody that goes against anything they say. That's not what we need. We need people that's going to disagree, that thinks differently. Well, that's the first thing that we have to do. I will admit, I believed this lie for way longer than I should have. But I just refused. I had my blinders on, and I refused to accept that we were being controlled fully by Israel. I just refused until finally I was like, okay, I can't be blind anymore. It's right here in front of us. And I mean, that's what it is. Yes, that's why we're in the war. I mean, that's exactly why, because Israel told us to. We pay for Israel to have free education, health care. I mean, we pay for all of this for Israel. Do you know what Israel does for us? Nothing, literally, except they force us into wars with people we don't even need to be in war with. I'm tired of that. We have to break that cycle. We have to. It's luckily I think a lot of people are finally they see now, like, what the hell is going on? Why are we just letting Israel control us? Why are we sending them so much money for years nonstop? Oh, we pay a lot more than just for their free healthcare and education in Israel. Anything that the citizens of Israel get for free, you pay for it. We send them billions and billions upon billions of dollars a year just for the heck of it. Legit, just for the heck of it. In Southern Sass, I was the same way, and I'm ashamed to admit that, but I was the same way for way too long. I always just assumed the best of Israel, and because I refused to actually dig into it and I just wanted to believe the politicians. I was misled for a long time, and that's my fault. I mean, that's my ignorance for not looking into it sooner. But that's but no, it's I mean, again, nobody can debate the amount of money we send them every year. I mean, it's there. I mean, that's not up for debate. It happens. And the only thing that some people can claim is that Israel is not controlling us, but I don't. There's too much evidence saying they are now. Again, we've got to just open our eyes and see it and deal with it. We've as long as we keep voting the same type of person in our U.S. legislature, we're going to get the same results. Until we change, we're going to get the same results. Honestly, I think they take being God's chosen way too far. No, that's exactly the problem. And that's why so many of us kept our blinders on for so long, because we believed that. But now that I've actually researched that even more, no, I don't believe that's what the Bible meant. I don't believe that's exactly what God meant. I don't believe God meant exactly the state of Israel as it sits today. But for so long, for years, I just refused to have an open mind about that stuff. And now I see. And I mean, guess who pushes that narrative and who's been pushing that narrative for years? I mean, for decades and decades, Israel. Exactly, Christina. The Israel today is not the same Israel in the Bible. Exactly, Melody. And I agree with you now, and I fully believe that. But again, I'm as ashamed as I am to admit it. For years, I didn't. $40 million a week to the Taliban. Yes, and that is still happening right now. We were promised that as soon as Trump got back in office, that was going to stop. It's still happening. We are still, to date, sending think about this. We are sending $40 million to the Taliban per week. Again, that's not a conspiracy theory. That's a fact. Timmy said, I like President Trump. If he ran again, I would vote for him again. I honestly, I don't know that I could. I don't know that I would now. I don't, he fooled me completely. I'll give him that. But he blatantly, completely lied to all of us. Big time. That pisses me off. Now, I'll give him the opportunity to gain that back. But he better turn it around quick. No, now, if you're talking about if we had the same election again with the same people, 100%, yeah, no doubt, I would vote for Trump. I mean, there's no way in any world I would vote for Kamala Harris. She's one of the dumbest politicians we've ever had. It's very strange to me that she made it to where she did with her intelligence. She is not bright. Like, not at all. But no, we definitely couldn't have had her. So, yeah, if we were doing that election over again, then absolutely I'd vote for Trump, no question about it. But if we had a decent Republican running against him, then it would be hard for me to vote for him again. Southern Sass, where can you find what? You need to show a friend? I 100% believe Epstein was a CIA asset. I would bet everything I have on that. Oh, the 40 million Taliban? Yes, go listen to let me pull it up for you. Because I can't explain it half as good as she can. But Sarah Adams, the watch floor. Here, let me show you this. Because if you are not watching and following Sarah Adams, you're missing out. So this is Sarah Adams, the watch floor. You can go, make sure you go subscribe to her YouTube channel, the watch floor, as you see right here. She is a former CIA targeter. She is the expert of experts on Afghanistan and, well, a lot of the Middle East, but definitely Afghanistan. She worked Afghanistan for years as a CIA targeter, so she knows all the intel that you could ever know on the Taliban. She still has tons of sources there as well. She's done numerous podcasts explaining the Taliban and the money, but she has sent people or people that are attached to her has literally been part of dropping the money to the Taliban weekly. But again, she can explain that better than I can. You go listen to, I'd have to find it, but she's been on the Sean Ryan podcast a lot of times. But say 2 times ago or something, she on that specific Sean Ryan podcast that she was on, she describes it like completely in detail, like she shows all of her sources as far as, all right, we had this person here, this person was here and confirmed that this person was here. But there's no doubt when she explains it. But she's very intelligent, and again, she is literally the expert of experts, anything Afghanistan and pretty much the Middle East. And she's still got tons of sources, or assets, as they call them, out there, and she can. I mean, again, she knows all of it, and she's not going to lie. So if she says it, she's a lot like me in that if she doesn't know for sure, she'll say, now, look, this is speculation on my part. But if she knows it to be a fact, she will say. Or if she says, I know this to be a fact, then she knows it to be a fact, no doubt. She's very clear on those things, and that's one reason I like listening to her. Plus, her knowledge is on that stuff. But that's all you need to do. And because, again, I can't remember it all off the top of my head exactly how she described it, how it happens. But and there's other. She'll tell you everywhere to go to look, where you can see. And again, she talks about it all the time because she's very pissed about it. And she had people lying to her about it, saying, no, that's not true. And then once they proved it to be true and they called the politicians out, then they had to admit it. Then they were told, well, no, it's not happening anymore. And so then they sent the same sources back out, and they sent her pictures and everything. It happened this week again. And the most concerning thing about the money, we're talking about $40 million cash. Literal cash. Not bank transfers, not wire transfers, not crypto, cash money, U.S. cash, $1 million, $40 million in United States cash per week. They are dropping out of a plane in Afghanistan. So, what does that tell you? There's literally no accountability. Who knows where the hell that money's going? Nobody knows. It's impossible to trace it. That's why they're sending cash, because it's impossible to trace cash like that. That's our government doing that. And it's very concerning to me that we have an outsider in Trump. I truly do believe he's an outsider. And he has gone against the grain, and he has gone against the establishment in a lot of ways, but then in a lot of ways he hasn't. And I would give anything to know why. Why on these certain things? Like, why are we doing that? What it makes me think is there's people that know things that our federal government has done that we're pretty much getting blackmailed into continuing sending them money, if that makes sense. Now, that's speculation on my part. That's just, and I could be wrong, obviously. I can't think of another reason now until I hear a better reason. So again, I'm not saying that is definitely why, but until I hear a better reason, that's the reason I think. I hope I'm wrong. But for some reason, no matter who we have in office, it's not stopping. I mean, $40 million a week. How many small towns in this country would it change the entire city, the entire town, if you gave them just $40 million one time a year? Think about that. You take that and then look at the billions with a B that we were getting defrauded out of by Somalians in Minnesota. Billions. We pay way too many taxes as American citizens. Way too much. Why? Because our federal government has gotten way too big. Yeah, the amount of money we've sent to Ukraine. We know. We know that the Ukraine is one of the most corrupt countries in the world. We know that. We know that most of the money we're sending Ukraine, still to this day, is not going towards their fight against Russia. Again, we're sending them billions. We're sending random money to the entire world instead of to our towns and cities. That's what pisses me off. You want to talk about Barry Moore and how good of a job he's done in Congress. You want to talk about any sitting member of Congress, Senate, whoever that is supposed to represent the state of Alabama. They're not fighting enough to give money back to our state, those federal dollars. Because the money's there, they're just choosing to send it to other countries. And if it was being used for good, like saving the world, I wouldn't have that big of a problem with it. But that's not what it's being used for at all. We're getting defrauded out of all of it. While, unfortunately, I don't make a lot of money right now, but when I was, it would make me sick to get my checks and look at how much I was paying in taxes. I mean, hell, if I had a check for $8,000, if I remember correctly, I may be a little wrong, but about 3,000 of it was gone, federal taxes. And state and federal together. That's the money I made in that 2 weeks. So, and now that I know where most of that money's going, it really pisses me off. And then here we are voting for the same people to go up there and be controlled. So, explain that. Anyone that supports Barry Moore now and says how good of a job he's done in Congress, explain that. If I was there, if I was in the Senate or Congress, I would probably be the most outspoken one ever. And I wouldn't keep anything silent. Nothing. Because I would be losing my mind over this, and I would be making sure everyone knew exactly what's going on. When has Barry Moore done that? Can anyone point me to one instance ever where he's done that? Why? Why are you having to hear from me? Why are you having to hear from Sarah Adams that we're sending $40 million a week to the Taliban? Why are you not hearing that from Barry Moore, who is there, knows it's happening? That's probably been on some of the committees that approved it. Why? Well, Tammy, we can't fix homelessness. The only thing that can fix homelessness is homeless people. You could throw as much money as you want to the homeless problem, and it's not going to fix it. People are not homeless because they are falling on bad times. I have never, ever, ever met a homeless person, ever, that is not homeless because of they have made a lot of terrible mistakes in life and continue to. They're all addicts. 99.9% of homeless people in this country are addicts. And until they fix that problem, that's the problem we have. We have a drug problem. We don't have a homeless problem. If you fix the drug problem, we would not have a homeless problem. But that's you got to go to the actual source and attack that and fix that. But so we don't have a homeless problem. We have a drug problem. So Nikki, where did you sleep when you were homeless and not an addict? Where did you sleep at night? Nikki on TikTok said I was homeless and not an addict. So Nikki, where did you? So you had to sleep in a shelter and then a hospital. So you have absolutely no family or friends? I'm asking you. You had absolutely no family or friends that would let you live with them. Let me tell you all my point. No, Julianne, that's a myth. Nikki, and I don't know you, so I'm not. This is my point. It would be very, very hard for me to believe that someone that's living right, that's doing the right things, and the only thing that's wrong is they have fallen on hard times as far as work wise, and so they can't bring in enough money to have a place to live. And that same person has lived right, but has zero friends or family that would take you in during a hard time. That's my point. The people that are literally living on the streets, the reason they're having to be on the streets is because they have ruined all their relationships. Because they're addicts. Like, how do you? I understand you can go through life and not have a good family, and you can't help that. Going through life and not making one really good friend that has a place to stay, you've made some bad choices somewhere. Wingo, you don't see my point? You're telling me that someone that has lived right, that has done good for people, has not been able to make any friends? Like, what have they been doing? That's my question. What have they been doing? It doesn't have to be family. I understand you may not have family like that, but you can make friends. So, Juliana, you had no family or friends at all? Now, Melody, that upsets me if you say I've had very close family members that have been homeless and have never been an addict. Why were they homeless if they were very close friends with you or family with you? Why didn't you let them live with you? I would never let a family member of mine or friend that was actually a good person and living right at that time go homeless ever. You couldn't go get them and bring them to the state. Like, there's no way I would let somebody that I know like that stay on the streets. There's no way. That's my point. Like, I know I could lose everything tomorrow. I fully understand that. I hope that never happens. I could lose everything tomorrow. I will never be homeless because I've made enough friends. Somebody would let me live with them. Numerous people. And I'm not special. I was born into a horrible household. My birth father has been in prison almost my whole life. But Wingo, my point is, how in the world have you lived a whole life and not made good friends? Like, that tells me you're not doing something right. Like, how? What have you done? I mean, I'm concerned that there's like 3 or 4 of you that are not understanding that. Katie, you're aggravating me because what you're saying is not true. So stop just trying to go against me. I don't understand, but no, I'm not buying that crap. But what I said is 99.9%. So, yes, there are exceptions. The other thing I said is to this day, I have never, ever met a homeless person. And being in law enforcement for 17 years, I met a lot of homeless people, a lot. Never once did I meet one that was not an addict, at least. Never. But you're saying many aren't homeless because that many are not addicts? That's not true. Now, like I said, 99.9% doesn't mean every single one of them. There are exceptions, but it's not many. Because I've met thousands, at least 1,000. We'll say, and that's a low number. I've met at least 1,000 homeless people. And understand, I want to make sure that we're on the same definition of homeless. When I say homelessness, I'm talking about someone that's literally having to live on the streets. I understand a lot of people fall on bad times, hard times, and lose their home or their apartment, and they have to go live with a friend or family member. I understand that, and that does happen. But again, the ones that are literally have nowhere else to go but the street, there's no way that you haven't made a lot of mistakes and that you have zero friends that would take you in. I'm not judging homelessness. How am I judging homeless? I'm telling you my experience with homeless people and other people's. Go to, what's the guy's name? Soft White Underbelly. Is that it? Yeah. So Soft White Underbelly is a uh, podcast content creator, and I can't Mark Leda, Leda, very big channel. He interviews people of all types. Like he will go on the street and pick up somebody, and his interviews are amazing. They're amazing. He doesn't judge anybody. He just wants to know how, things they've done. How, how did you get here? But he has traveled around this country extensively studying homeless people. He has interviewed thousands and thousands of homeless people. And he said he has never, ever met a homeless person that wasn't an addict. That's coming from him too. So when I take what he's saying, and I know he's met a lot more homeless people than me, and I know the amount that I have, and the amount that my friends that I worked with in law enforcement have met, and we've never met one that wasn't an addict. So again, that's all I can speak on. First off, I never said every homeless person was a crackhead. Don't put words into my mouth, because that pisses me off when someone tries to put words in my mouth. I want someone to explain to me, those of you that are saying this is not true, explain to me how someone can go their entire life, let's say they're 35 years old, and not made one friend that would take them in. They'd have not one family member, not one friend that would take them in. Now, I've had family members that were pretty much homeless, and I didn't help them at all because I gave them an option. You can either clean up and I'll help you, or you don't clean up and you're on your own. Because I'm not bringing an addict into my home with my family. I don't care who they are. Now, if they get clean, come on. I don't think y'all are not understand. I guess I'm not communicating this correctly. I understand there are a lot of people that lose their homes or lose their apartments just because they've fallen on hard times. What I'm saying, if they have lived right and done good and been a good member of society, almost all have made at least one friend or family member that will take them in during those hard times. So that's what I'm asking you. Explain to me how someone could be 30, 35 years old, 45 years old, and not have made one friend or have one family member that would take them in during a hard time. I'll tell you this, if you're a Christian and you're a member of a church and you go to that church and you lost your home and you were not an addict and your church, nobody from your church would help you, you need to tell us that church, because we're going to call them out. See, this is the thing. You think you know my life, Nikki. You don't. As I said, I was born into, look, I know what it's like to go hungry. I know what it's like to be extremely poor and have nothing, because that's what I was born into. I was heavily abused as a child. I went to bed hungry a lot, like hungry. I know what that feels like. That's why I made the decision at a very young age. I will never be in this position as soon as I get old enough to for I can do something, never. And that's what's pushed me. That's what has motivated me throughout my entire life. Nikki, would you, if you don't have to tell us publicly what church that is, but message me what church that is, because I want to call them out. I'm serious. Because where I go to church, someone that's a member of that church and is not doing bad things will never be homeless. Because there are literally thousands of people in my church that would either take them in or pay for their apartment. I mean, something. And so if wherever you go to church is not that way, you need to find another church, because that's one of the things the church is supposed to be for. The government is not supposed to have to help you. Your churches, your community is who is supposed who should help you. But that's also for a long, well, almost the entire time I was an investigator, especially the whole time I was in working narcotics, I would go around to tons of high schools, middle schools, elementary schools even, and speak. And I enjoyed it and I loved it, because I get so tired of hearing teenagers or young adults say, well, I had no choice. I was born into, I didn't have a choice. My family was horrible. You do. You absolutely have a choice. You can, if you were born and raised in one of those horrible situations, you have one of two choices to make. You can either choose to use that as motivation, or you can use it as an excuse. And if you use it as an excuse, you're going to be just like the people you came from. If you use it as motivation, you will never be like that. On the opposite, you'll be able to help people, and you'll never have to worry about it. I had a sibling who, praise God and thank God, is living perfect now, and has changed their life and been clean for well over a year now. I mean, it's the greatest thing ever. But for a long time, it wasn't like that. Same exact same exact situation. We're only 2 years apart in age. But that sibling chose to use it as an excuse. I used it as a motivation. And we went our separate ways. Very big. So again, that's why I would go to these schools and tell them, a lot of you, or some of you sitting here, are living in a horrible home right now. You need to make the decision right now. You're never going to use that as an excuse. You're only going to use it as a motivation. And the whole time I was in law enforcement, I would deal with people, like I said, they would try to blame their adulthood on their raising. Not with me. I'm going to shut you down immediately. I'll tell you this, and I will pay you. If you were ever homeless, like legit nowhere to go, had to sleep on the streets, and you were never an addict, and you were never a thief, like you didn't steal from people, you didn't treat people bad, whatever, come on my podcast and I want to interview you. And I'm dead serious. I'd love to interview you, because I want to hear your story. because I am truly, and I mean this with all sincereness, I am truly, I cannot fathom how a person that's lived good and done good things and not done a lot of bad things, how they could not make one friend or family member that would take them in hard times. And I'm not saying it's impossible, because again, there are exceptions to everything. But I've yet to meet one. And if that truly is one of you, message me and I want to get you on a podcast, because I want everyone to hear your story, because I want to learn about it and I want to know how that's possible. Exactly, Isha. She said, funny you said churches are supposed to help you. I wonder how many people the ramp have helped. Exactly. They didn't help anybody but themselves. And again, all I'm saying is I have never met one yet. And Mark with Soft White Underbelly, who that's his thing. He travels the country interviewing homeless people. He has yet, I mean, he stated that numerous times, he's yet to meet one that wasn't an addict. So that's all I can go off of. Now, don't get me wrong. And if anybody that's been following me, so I want to make this clear for people that may be new. I'm not saying if you're an addict, you're a horrible person. Well over 90% of addicts are really good people. They made some bad choices and they continue to make those choices, but they can change. And if they're clean, they're some of the best people you ever meet. They'll give you the shirt off their back. And they're just a product of the drug that they use. A lot of those people have changed and are literally out changing the world right now, doing a lot bigger things than I am. And I have so much respect for a recovering addict. I will never be disrespectful to one. I respect them as much as anybody, if not more. And I know, because again, I've worked with, God, thousands of addicts as informants, and almost all of them were really good people. They just continue to make those bad choices. So when they're clean, they're great. But when they're not clean, you can't bring them. It would be ignorant of you to bring them into your home with your family. Like you can't do that. And they are the ones that have to make that decision. Nobody can make that decision for them. They have to make that decision. And if they make the decision to get clean, and they're your family friend, you should do everything you can to help them. When they're not clean, you're doing them a disservice if you give them anything. Don't give them $1. You're enabling them. Because my family member that went through all that, that's when they finally changed, when rock bottom. Rock bottom. Because for a while I did help them. I sent them money and money and money until I finally listened to my own self. I'm out giving these speeches to people and I'm like, hold on. I got to hold myself accountable here, because here I'm doing this. So I understand how hard it is. I completely understand how hard it is to turn your back on your, I mean, it's not really turning your back on your family, but that's what you feel like in that time. I understand how hard it is. It's not easy. It's not an easy choice for you to do, for you to say, no, I'm not helping you. Because as long as I do, I'm enabling you. It's very hard. It's not an easy decision, but that's what you have to do for them. And that's the 100% best thing to do for them. I understand that, Juliana, but what I'm saying is, what are the chances that the same person that has fallen on just crazy hard times, because that does happen, that same person has no friends or family that would help them? That's what I'm saying. So there are tons of people that fall on hard times. I mean, I've said this about 10 times already, that lost their homes, their apartments, whatever, and they have to move in with a friend or a family member for a while, sometimes a long time, but they have that friend or family member to take them in. Tons of those people. So when I say homeless, I'm literally talking about someone that's living on the street. And that's also why you should help when you are able to. Now, most people's first biggest mistake is they take care of other people before themselves. That is not you being that is you being selfish. If you're taking care of other people before yourself, you're being selfish. Because the only reason you're doing that is so you feel good. That's a selfish thing to do. You have to take care of yourself first. That's a selfless thing to do because it's hard. You have to take care of yourself first. So if you're still taking care of other people first, until you fix that, nothing good's going to come to you. You can't do that. You have to take care of yourself first. You have to fix yourself first. Then you can take care of a lot more people and help a lot more people. But you have to. I don't care if it's your kids, if it's your parents, whatever. You have to take care of yourself first. But what I'm saying, what some of you are saying, what I'm saying to that is I'm truly curious because I can't, it's just something I don't understand. So I need somebody to tell me their exact situation and how it happened for me to understand it. It's unbelievable to me that you're a good person. You do good. You help people. You treat people right. And you have not made one friend or have one family member that would take you in a hard time. Like, I'm truly curious as to how you did that, because that just blows my mind. But see, Nikki, I see your bad upbringings can make people hyper independent. That's your own fault. I mean, again, I don't know. I mean, I won't let you blame anything on your bad upbringing. Not saying I'm right. That's just me. This is me being real. I'm not going to let anybody blame anything on their bad upbringing. But Wingo, we're trying to understand. We're not trying to get in someone's business. We truly want to understand. And so, and again, I'll be the first to tell you there are exceptions to everything. Exceptions to everything. But I've never met anyone that has no family or friends that the only reason they have no family or friends is because they've done a lot of people wrong. They've burned all those bridges. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying, me personally, people I know and dealt with, never seen that. So what about the people whose friends are also on hard times? Are they supposed to take? All right. Most of you who's been following me know one of my number one rules of thumb to live by. This is one of the most important things that if you don't know this, please, if you don't have never listened to anything else I've said, listen to this. This is 100% without a doubt. No, this is the one thing with no exceptions. You have to have friends. And if you choose not to, you're on your own. And good luck. Nobody can make it on their own. Nobody. Life is too hard. You can't make it on your own. The 5 closest people, the 5 people that you're around the most, you are the one that chooses those 5 people. Again, we're talking about if you're an adult. Nobody chose those 5 people that you're around the most, but you. You better choose 5 people that are in places you want to be, that are better than you, that are more intelligent than you, that have more than you, that are successful in whatever your mind that you feel is success. Because the 5 people you are around most is who you will be. And there is no exception to that. If you're around 5 addicts the most, you will become an addict. I promise you that. If you're around 5 extremely wealthy people all the time, you're going to end up extremely wealthy. You're the one that chooses those 5 closest people you're around. And you have to choose wisely. And so, Melody, that's you got to live by that first. And if you live by that, you're not going to be in the situation you're talking about. You need good friends or a really good group chat. But Nikki, why? Again, if you were an adult, you're the one that chose to be around those people, no matter who they are, no matter if they're your mom. I mean, my dad's a horrible, evil person. I will never be around him under any circumstance, ever. It's never going to happen. I've got other family members I will never be around. I don't care that they're family. They're bad people. I'm not going to be around them. Again, as an adult, I choose who I'm around. I choose who I let be around me, and I choose who I'm around. But that's some of the most important advice you will ever hear. And if you have children, you need to teach them that. You're a 12-year-old, you better know their 5 closest friends, because they're going to be just like them. You're 15-year-old, you're 17-year, and you better explain that to them. And if they're around, if the people that are the 5 closest people to them are not who you want your child to be like, you better fix it. And you better fix it immediately. And people say, I've heard this my whole, oh, you think you're better than us because you don't want to be around us. I am. I'm not ashamed of that. There's some people I'm better than them. There are people that are better than me. Um, but if you're making really, really bad choices and where you've lost everything and you still don't want to, you still are not doing the things to fix it, I'm better than you at that time. Now you can change that. You can flip it at any time, and you can flip it to be better than me. But Nick Smith, Karen Wheaton, the people we've been talking, I'm better than those people. Anybody disagree? I hope everyone watching is better than them. Don't be ashamed of that. You've made good choices. You've made some good choices. And when you've made bad choices, instead of letting those choices keep you down, you got right back up and you fixed them. Literally the only difference in a successful person and a non-successful person, the only difference, they both fail every day. They both fall down every single day. The difference in the two is at some point, the unsuccessful person falls and decides, I'm done. I'm not getting back up this time. The successful person says, I'm getting back up. And then they fall again and they say, I'm getting back up. And eventually they get to where they want to be. That's literally the only difference. The only difference in the two. You don't have to be the brightest. You don't have to be the most intelligent. You don't have to be the best looking. You don't have, none of that. You have to never stay down because you're going to fail and you're going to fail a lot. You better get used to it. And the more successful you want to be, the more you're going to fail. You just got to keep getting back up. We teach our young group, show me your circle, and I'll show you your future. Yes, and I'm telling you, that is 100%. That is 100%. Exactly. Just never give up. And success is different for everybody. What you consider success may be, and probably is completely different than what I consider success. So you have to know, first off, you have to know what your definition of success is. What do you want to be? And when you figure that out, and sometimes it's not easy to figure out for everybody, but when you figure that out, find people that are already there and do whatever you can, do whatever it takes to get around those people. I've made those very uncomfortable, embarrassing phone calls or approaches to people before. Like a grown man walking up to another grown man and saying, I know you don't know me, but I know what you do. I know what, I know what you've done. What can I do? Like, this is going to sound extremely weird, but could I come hang out with you for 2 weeks? I've done that a couple times. I've never been turned down. They looked at me like I had 4 heads at first, but they're like, I guess for whatever reason, they're like, I've never heard this before, so I'm going to, sure. And they did. Literally let me, what would you call it? Shadow them. I did one for like a week. I did one for like 3 or 4 weeks. I learned so much. But a lot of people, they would not make that approach because they just don't. And it's very hard. But again, if you want something that bad, you'll do what it takes. Exactly, creations. If you're 42 like me, single mom, you do whatever you got to do to make it. Life's hard, but I'm free. But again, you can't do it on your own. You have to have good people in your circle. If you try to do it on your own, you're not going to make it. So whether that's a close church family or some kind of close circle, you've got to find that, and you have to get out and find it. It's not going to come to you. It's not going to fall on your lap. But if you want to sit around every evening and every weekend watching TV instead of out looking for that, I can't help you. But I promise you, I've failed probably more than most people watching, if not more than everybody watching. I've failed a lot. But I failed a lot. I am far from perfect. I still make sometimes some pretty big mistakes. I'm not that I am ashamed of. Hopefully one day I won't have to say that, but I can't say it today. But I wonder, I don't think it's going to let me. Oh, wait. I want to show y'all something. Because it's crazy how this kind of falls right into what we're talking about right now. You see.
Oh, here we go. So, Mr. Nigga right here.
That's
your ass.
So you the one like saying
what in the?
Like call people niggas and shit.
You gonna call me?
Oh my God, are you kidding me? I clicked on TikTok. I brought TikTok up, and that was the thing showing. Of all stinking things, what in the world? How does TikTok leave that up and they ban me? Oh my God, unbelievable. If y'all heard that, I'm sorry. I was trying to bring up freaking TikTok to show y'all something. Jesus. That's unbelievable, honestly. That is unbelievable. You can't make this stuff up. But I don't understand how has TikTok left that video up, whatever it was. And I'll probably get banned in a second because I accidentally clicked on it. Or I brought TikTok up. That's crazy. Anyway.
Hey y'all, welcome to my page.
Okay.
Hey y'all, welcome.
So this came across my TikTok feed earlier today, and it blew me away. And I'm just being real, a of who I am. When this popped up, what came out of her mouth was unbelievable. And and I know this is bad, but I'm just being honest, it didn't fit. I was like, wow. But the first thing that I thought about was, how many people have this talent but are too scared to publicly show it just because they're embarrassed of how they look or ashamed of how they look or anything? And understand, I'm not saying I'm saying the opposite. You shouldn't be. But I'm saying we know tons of people that we're never going to know their true talents because they're afraid to speak up. They don't want to embarrass themselves. They're afraid people are going to talk about them or make fun of them. And guess what? People are. People make fun of me all the time, I'm sure. I mean, sometimes they come on here and make fun of whatever. It is part of it. But I want you to look at this girl and then hear
Hey
her.
y'all, welcome to my page. Today I'm going to be covering Stay by Sugarland. I've been sitting here staring at the clock on the wall, and I've been laying here praying she won't call. It's just another call from home. You'll get it and be gone, and I'll be crying. And I'll be begging you, baby, begging not to leave. But I'll be left here waiting with my heart on my sleeve. Oh, the next time we'll be here seems like a million years, and I think I'm dead. What do I have to do to make you see? She can't love you like me. Why don't you stay? I'm down on my knees. I'm so tired of being lonely. Don't I give you what you need when she calls you to go? There is one thing you should know. We don't have to live this way. Baby, why don't you stay?
Unbelievable. That came up across my feed today, and I got the chill bumps again. I could listen to her sing all day, every day. I could be having the worst day ever and listen to her voice and just be good. I mean, you talk about talent. Wow. I have a couple awesome things to say. First, I immediately reached out and said, I don't know you, don't know anything about you, but please come on my podcast. And she immediately reached back and said, absolutely. So she is going to be on my podcast. Second, this video of hers, where did it go? There it was. Has gotten 1.7 million views.
Hey.
Has $13,000 comments, 200,000 likes. She's probably made $5,000 at least off of this one video she posted on May the 26th. And she was up to, she's got 53,000 followers now, and I'm sure she's gained most of those, a lot of those, she posted that video. Now, she's got some other ones that are amazing, too. You think that was the first time she posted? No, because it's not that easy. So I start going back. Look at how many videos she posted before. And you see all these with 90 views, 200 views. And I guarantee you, before she put that video out that went viral, she probably had 20 or 30 views on each one of these videos. Because once somebody heard that one, they went back and listened to all these like I did. This is years. I mean, it goes on. Let's see. When was this one posted? Well, she may post a lot. I never even got to the end of them earlier because it's just. So my point is, this girl has posted hundreds upon hundreds of videos, and nobody was watching her. Nobody. And she didn't let that deter her. She never let that deter her. She continued. She failed and 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 failed some more. Until May the 27th of this year, it finally happened. And she's going to be famous. She told me the amount of famous people that have reached out to her in the last few days is unbelievable. Her name is Chelsea. Let me bring this where y'all can see it, because please go follow her. Oh, hold on, let me fix this. No, that's not right. Chelsea Leanne on TikTok. She's going to be famous and probably wealthy. Possibly pretty soon. If she would have stopped after the 50th video, if she would have stopped after the 200th video, it never would have happened. How many people with her talent were afraid to ever post their first video and never did? Therefore, nobody ever knew their true talent, and they never made it. Hundreds of thousands. This is just a remarkable, this is just one of those things when I look at it, all that stuff, all of that starts running through my head, and I'm like, this is what it's about. This is what it takes. This is the thing that people that want to sit around and complain about and feel sorry for themselves because they're not where they want to be. Most, and there are exceptions, most is because they were too scared. And it's on them. Be more like Chelsea. Stop being embarrassed. Stop caring what anybody else thinks. And just be yourself. But it made my day. I mean, she immediately reached back out and said, absolutely. So we're going to get her on the podcast and hear her story. And I can't wait to hear her story. I can't wait. But I mean, my God, I could hear her, listen to her voice all day. I mean, it's amazing. But that was the first thing that came into my head when I saw her. I was like, how many people are they're never going to do it because they're just too scared. I mean, fear can be a good thing, but it can also be a bad thing. Okay. Yeah, you should. I'll play that in just a second. I mean, look at crap. My mind went blank. Oliver Anthony, is that what his name is? Let me make sure I'm getting that right. For some reason, it don't sound right. Yeah, Oliver Anthony. He had been posting his stuff on YouTube for 3 or 4 years. Nothing never went viral. I mean, he was just doing it. And then one day he posted, I can't remember which, I think it was Richmond, north of Richmond or whatever. I think was the first one, but I may be wrong, one of those awesome ones. He posted it, and overnight, no, that's what it was. He had posted it, and it didn't go anywhere. And then out of nowhere, one day, it went viral. It just took off and went viral. His first paycheck from YouTube, listen to this. His first paycheck from YouTube from that was $800,000. Literally happened overnight as far as blowing up. But he had been posting for years. Was not even expecting anything to happen. And then it did because he. But it's all it takes. So you can go, and obviously it don't have to be singing. It don't have to be a podcast. It don't have to be content. I mean, whatever. Everybody has an amazing talent and skill that everybody else doesn't realize and doesn't know just because you're too scared, and you got to get over that fear. And that's the difference. Again, get back up every time. It's not going to happen after the first time. It's not going to happen after the first day. It may take years, but if you stay at it and you truly have that talent, it will happen. Just don't give up. Oh, the barbershop dude, I don't know, but he has an amazing voice too. But yeah, you're exactly right. I mean, he posted for a long time too, and then one day, I mean, you never know. But trust me, if you never tried, it's never gonna. It's definitely if you don't try it, it's not gonna happen. Again, it's not gonna fall in your lap. You got to go out and get it. You got to go out and get it. Isha, you have a talent. Come in here with that mess. Oh, let's see. Hold on. Let's see what Isha was talking about. And this is Melissa's daughter. How old is like is she an adult? Like how old is she? There any kind of update on the police chief XSRO situation? I mean, he's if you haven't heard I mean he was forced to resign from Bluntsville from the police chief. Other than that, we're trying to get things to APOST, the Alabama Peace Officers and Standards and Training Commission, to get his certifications pulled so he cannot be in law enforcement anymore. Okay. I just wanted to make sure she wasn't like a minor or something and me get in trouble for playing her singing here. Hold on. Get this pulled up.
She's from Texas, I can tell by the way these two stepping down the road. Judging by the smile that's written on his face, there's nothing I can do. It doesn't take a crystal ball to see. The cowboy always finds a way to leave and jack on himself.
That is, wow. I'm very impressed. No, that's amazing. Wow, Melissa. No, that is amazing. If there's more of her, y'all send them to me. I want to listen to them. Wow, that's very impressive. Yes, she definitely can. Wow, that was good. Oh, the Bluntsville town hall meeting was tonight. The town hall meeting was tonight. Supposedly, when confronted, the town lawyer ran from the media. That's not surprising. Oh, I definitely want to hear her original songs. Oh, she's on TikTok. Kinsley Lane. KENS. Is it Kinsley Lane Music? I'm guessing. Oh, she's already got a good following, too. What's up, Tracy? All right, I've followed her. I'll listen to her stuff. Yeah, she's already got a good following. Melissa, why haven't you told me about her before? I would have been promoting her. Okay. Let me say this for everyone to know. When I come on lives and when I put my videos out, my podcasts, whatever, I'm just being real and I'm just being myself. I have constantly said and will always say, I am far from perfect. I'm far from perfect. This is just who I am. I'm not perfect. I spend over 15 hours per week just on lives, completely unscripted lives. Not one part of my lives are scripted. It's just me talking and discussing things with you all. I am not perfect. I'm going to say things I shouldn't at times. I'm going to hurt somebody's feelings at times I shouldn't have. I'm going to piss somebody off at times I shouldn't have. I'm a human. So if you're expecting me to be perfect, then you need to go follow someone else and not watch my lives, because that's not going to happen. It's impossible. Pawpaw Kevin, if you will go to my website, agentdbaker.com, and fill out the contact thing there. It's just, you just fill out your name. You don't have to put your real name, whatever, but your email and then a message, and send that to me, and I'll get that, and I'll get back to you. I don't know what that means, Ruthie. You're a mush? I don't know what that means. It sounds bad, though. Mush is a good thing? It doesn't sound good. I'll have to check that out. No, Gloria, I think she was. It wasn't a bad thing. It just sounded like it. But it has been a very long day. I can't tell you how much I appreciate each and every one of you for coming on. I've enjoyed it. Again, if I hurt your feelings, I'm sorry. I don't set out to hurt people's feelings, but I'm just myself. I just speak my mind and give my straight opinions. I'm not saying I'm always right. I'm not saying I know everything or anything like that. So just, I mean, this is me. But I appreciate each and every one of you being on here. It means a lot to me. If you missed the interview that I did earlier today with Jared Hudson, the U.S. Senate candidate for Alabama, that is in the runoff election tomorrow. But I did a hour-long video with him today, interview. If you missed it, go check that out. You can catch it on Facebook and YouTube right now. And then by tomorrow sometime, it'll be on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, anywhere you get your podcasts as well. But make sure you go check that out. This is an amazing interview. He's an awesome guy. He's legit. He's the real deal. If you are a Alabama voter, there's a huge runoff election tomorrow. As I said, get your tails to the polls. Just go vote. That's the hardest thing about these runoffs, is getting people actually to the polls. This is a very, very important election. This is going to determine Alabama's next United States Senator, and that's a big deal. It's a really, really big deal. And I need everyone to go vote. And if you want my opinion, vote for Jared Hudson. He is, again, he's the real deal. It's not a mask he's wearing. He's not pretending to be somebody that he's not. You get what you see with him. So go vote for him. We need to get him in D.C. He also has dedicated his entire life. He was a Navy SEAL, and then once he got out of the military, he has dedicated his entire life to fighting human trafficking and going after child predators, which is the most amazing thing you could do. And it's something that we're putting more into, and that we're going to be doing more on, and covering more and bringing more awareness to that and education, because there's not enough. But it's something he has dedicated his adult life to. That's who we need in D.C. He will stand up for what he believes. He's not going to be bought. He's not going to be a yes man. And that's what we need. But get to the polls, vote, make sure, tell all your families and family and friends to go to the polls and vote. Again, it's very, very important. We got Nick Smith out of the sheriff position in Walker County by getting to the polls. We need to get through this one. We need to get Jared Hudson, the underdog, the one that the entire establishment is fighting against right now. They're spending millions of dollars a day almost right now going against him. D.C. money, not Alabama money. That's how bad they don't want him in there, because they know they can't control him. Understand that for what it is. Oh, and thank you, Tammy. I wasn't even thinking. I got that one on my. That is the other big election tomorrow. Speaking of Walker County, there's a runoff. Luckily, we got rid of Nick Smith, and that was the most important thing, to get rid of that corrupt sheriff. But there's a runoff tomorrow there in Walker County, so go vote for Jared Hudson. And then also the sheriff runoff in Walker County is between Jason Akins and something Poe. What? Why can't I even think of his first name now? I want to say Allen, but it's not Allen Poe. Poe. Anyway, vote for Jason Akins if you live in Walker County tomorrow for Walker County Sheriff. I'm not saying Poe would be the worst ever. He's extremely old. J.C. Poe, thank you. He's just very old, and so he's not going to be able to be in office long. I would highly doubt he would be able to finish the full first term. I highly doubt that. So why are we putting somebody in there that's not going to be able to finish a full first term? Then you're going to leave it up for the governor to pick your sheriff. That's not smart. So get to the polls. Again, if you live in Walker County, go vote for Jason Akins. Vote for Jared Hudson. And if you're an Alabama voter and you voted in the Republican primary, get to the polls tomorrow and vote for Jared Hudson. I'm telling you, you won't go wrong with that. We don't need someone that's just going to follow orders. And that's all Barry Moore's going to do, I'm telling you. And Barry Moore has shown us who he truly is. No matter what you see, Barry Moore has been lying about his military service, and he knows that. And anyone that has any sense and knows anything about the military knows that as well. Get to the polls. Also, don't forget, my Wednesday night lives are on YouTube only. So Mondays and Fridays are on all the platforms. Wednesday nights are exclusively on YouTube. Make sure you do not miss that. So if you're not subscribing to my YouTube channel, Agent D. Baker, go subscribe right now. Do the notifications. That way you're notified every time I go live on there, and you're also notified every time I drop a podcast, because that is also one of the only places you can catch my full podcast. I do a full podcast, and you can find that on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcast. So you can catch a bunch of shorts and shorter videos and stuff on Facebook and TikTok as well, and X. But my full podcast you can only find on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcast. So you don't want to miss those. But again, the Wednesday night lives are exclusively on YouTube, on my YouTube channel. You can either go to YouTube, type in Agent D. Baker, take you to my channel, or go to our website, agentdbaker.com. Very simple, agentdbaker.com. And you can click the YouTube link on there. You can, all of my social media links are on there. You can click them and take you to those. And then also, that's the best way to contact me. If you want to know for a fact that I see that see your message and we get your message, you need to go to the website, hit the contact button. You can't miss it. Fill out the information. It takes you 1 second. I mean, it's simpler than sending an email. It's simpler than that. So, but that we will definitely get your message and see it if you send it that way. If you send us a message on one of the platforms, there's a decent chance we won't ever see it because we get so many. So if you're interested in being a guest on the podcast or know somebody it is, that's the way to contact us. It's through the website. If you're interested in getting me to come to your organization, company, whatever, to speak, You can fill that information out on the website, anything like that. If you have any information on any cases that I'm covering or something you would like for me to look into, again, send it through the website and we will look into that. We will never repeat your name. If you send us information, especially sensitive information on a case or anything, we will never repeat your name ever. So you don't have to worry about that. I take that very serious. It's grown so big now that I can't personally just read all the messages. So I have had to I have three team members, people that's on my team that are checking up on the emails that go through the website. All of my team is under NDAs. They're not allowed to repeat anything without my permission. So you can feel extremely safe and secure with your name. It will never be released. And again, we keep that very tight and close. So, and we need that information. That's one thing that helps us do what we do. But I hope you all have a great rest of your Monday night. And more than likely, oh, you know what? Due to the election tomorrow, I may go live tomorrow evening, but I will put something out in the morning sometime to let you know for sure. And if I go live tomorrow evening, it'll be on all platforms. Just a special election live. It'll be very laid back. We'll just hang out, talk, and keep a watch on the numbers. So I may do that, but I'll let y'all know in the morning. Just keep an eye on my platforms, and I'll put something out on all of them one way or the other. But anyway, y'all have a great night, and I will see y'all back probably tomorrow. Truth Recon. I'm Agent D. Baker, former narcotics detective, SWAT team member, and U.S. Navy combat veteran. With years of real-world experience in high-stakes environments, I've seen firsthand the dangers that lurk both in our communities and now increasingly online. Before this show begins, understand this. What you are about to hear may be disturbing to some audiences. This podcast contains explicit language, dark themes, and real conversations that are not suitable for children and may be triggering for some individuals. If you choose to